friends, this is Captain Dave and Ms Brooke. We're here at the TA in Wheeling, West Virginia, and we're finally getting ready to deliver this long load that we've been on for, it seems like forever, from California. It was a 3-stop produce load, and I think we had 6 days on the load.
Long time.
But you know, we moved pretty quickly because we're a team, so we got across the country and we made a stop in Springfield. And the name of this video is going to be our home sweet home away from home. You know, you dread sometimes going into the terminal, and there's lots of reasons to dread that, and we'll talk about what some of those are. But the truth of the matter is, we spent not 48 hours, probably 36 hours there. Got there Saturday night and left late last night, and we got a lot done. We had a lot of different things that we just needed, you know, wrap up details, things we needed to do. And so today we're just going to talk about what's been going on the last week with us and what's upcoming. We have some exciting things that we're going to talk about. Some of them in more detail, but it's exciting for us. So keep your fingers crossed. You're going to hear some good stuff today. I guess we rolled in there, on Saturday night, and our eye in the sky, our friend John, who works there at the office, he seems to always know. He tracks us. He sees where we are, and we were coming into inbound, and Brooke had gotten out of the truck and gone into driver lineup, and I got a message on the phone. He said, "Hey, I see you're in inbound." I was like, "Wow." It's kind of weird. He kind of knows where we are all the time. But so he chatted with us for a while, and we talked about getting together. We were both pretty wiped out, so we didn't that night, but we saw him the next evening or afternoon. We had a meal with him, so it was good to catch up with him. But we did go to bed.
Crazy good in inbound.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
it was like a party was going on or something.
Yeah, the last couple times.
4 trucks in every lane.
Mm-hmm. The last couple times we've gone through inbound, it's just been very busy, unusually busy. And even the folks that work there at the office say, we don't know why there's so many people here, but there was 3 or 4 deep in every lane, and it took us at least an hour to get through inbound at Springfield on Saturday night. So it may have been the weather. I know there was bad weather then, and probably a lot of people were trying to get off the road. So the first hurdle was just sitting through inbound and praying you don't have something major wrong with your trailer. The trailer was fine, but we got the bad news from the guy inspecting our truck that one of our tires was the tread was too low. So
was it a steer tire?
It was a drive. It was the left rear drive. He showed me. He was right. It wasn't something that I had caught on our inspections. So he made an appointment for us to go over to the tire shop. It was for 11 o'clock the next day on Sunday morning. So we'll get back. I'll talk about that now so we don't forget too late. We got in there. The guy was very nice. We got there an hour early for the appointment, and he had a 12 o'clock appointment, but they were still going through inbound and we're going to be a while. So he went ahead and took us at about 10 o'clock, and he looked at it immediately. Said, "Yeah," because what happens with us sometimes is we'll have people tell us on inbound, "Oh, you got something in your tire," or "the tread's too low on your tire." And 3 different times that's happened to us. And we get over to the tire shop and they look at it and they're like, "You're okay." I don't know what they're talking about. So I don't know if it's people not understanding completely in inbound, or if it's new staff, or maybe it's just being overly cautious. Maybe they're told to be that way. But the folks in the tire shop will sometimes tell us we're fine and send us on our way.
Not this time.
But not this time. Yeah, it hurt this time. We got in there, and one tire certainly the tread was too low, and so we had to have that replaced. And he goes, "You don't have to do this, but we always recommend that if you do one drive tire, you do the other one at the same time." And he said, "You've got a little tread left on this other tire. You can keep driving on it if you want to, but it's just a matter of time. It's going to be a matter of convenience. As soon as you get back out on the road, you know, you probably want to change them at the same time." And I said, okay. And I had no idea, because I hadn't paid for the drives before. They'd certainly have gone up in price, but it was over $2,000. It was $1,000, $1,020, I think, for each drive tire. So that's a big nut. And we had it in our tire fund. So when you first start driving and you look at all the things that Prime puts back money for, it's one of those situations where Papa knows best kind of thing. You don't like it. You don't like seeing that stuff come out of your settlement. But it sure was relief to look onto my settlement and see that I had plenty of money. I think I have almost $4,000 or $5,000. Not anymore in my in our tire fund. So it will continue to put into that. And so one interesting thing to know is now, my understanding is when you go lease purchase, they don't do the deduction for the tires anymore. So you have to plan for that and do that yourself. So we got 2 new shoes on the back of our truck, rolling along. We're doing fine, and I won't be surprised if we don't have to replace the other drives and maybe even the steers before we turn this truck in September. So we took care of that. Got in there Saturday night. We were wiped out. A lot of times we like to go in, get something to drink, maybe get something to eat, and just see who's in the terminal, talk to old friends, make new friends. But we were both just wiped. So as I said, the first struggle is getting through inbound. The second struggle, when it's so busy like that, is finding some place to park. But we're usually blessed with parking. Just like today, we rolled up in here late to a TA, and there was a spot that we got into on the lot. We found a spot that somebody was just pulling out of. We got parked up. We went to sleep, and in our snug little truck with our high-end Odyssey mattress from the store. If you have not upgraded to the expensive mattress at the company store, I can't recommend that a lot. I heard somebody talking today on their channel about how they can't understand why people get hotel rooms when you have everything you need on your truck, including a comfortable bed. And I completely subscribe to that. I look forward, especially in the cold weather, to getting all snug and getting back there in our bed. And our truck is our home out here. So, save yourself some money. Don't pay for those hotel rooms if you don't have to. Stay on your truck. I understand sometimes it feels good to get off and stretch your legs, but for us, we've never really felt the urge to go get a hotel room, have we?
It's cozy in here.
It is cozy. It is cozy. We have to snuggle, and that's not a bad thing. So, we got up that morning. We went in to have breakfast, and lo and behold, we ran into a good friend. He's getting to be a good friend of ours, Orville from Cornbread Trucker. And if you aren't familiar with him or have not checked out his channel, he's a really neat guy. He's a fellow about our age. He drives solo. He's a trainer, and he has a long history in trucking. He trucked for years, some years before, then got out of it. His dad was a trucker, so he has a lot of fond memories of it. And he's out on the road driving his Pete.
He just switched from flatbed to reefer.
Right. He had gone over to flatbed, though for the life of me, I can't figure out why. But no, he had good reasons, and he wanted to get the exercise and some other things. But I think, and I wasn't surprised when a couple months later he started looking at it and saying, I think I want to go back to reefer from flatbed. So yeah, check out his channel. That's the Cornbread Trucker, and good guy. You want to get to know him. So we had breakfast with him. What? Were you gonna say something?
No.
Oh, okay. So we had breakfast with him, and then one of the big things that we were focused on this visit that we wanted to take part of is, let me give you a little history. So, you have successes and failures, you have happiness, and you have some frustrations when you're in trucking out here on the road, and you have challenges. And one of the biggest frustrations or challenges for Brooke, or one of the things that bothers her the most, is her inability to control her health in the way that she did when we lived at home. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
What do you mean by that?
I just mean I was able to work out whenever I wanted to work out, and I had my routines, and then was able to buy and purchase the food that I wanted to whenever I wanted to, and cook whatever I wanted to whenever I wanted to. And I'm limited here. Sometimes there's not enough time to cook, or sometimes I don't have access to
I am. I have her to thank for having a reasonably healthy diet, because I tend to be lazy. I tend to just grab whatever.
He'll just take whatever because he's tired and hungry like a bear.
Yeah, like a bear.
But I'm frustrated about the not fitting in the fitness, because this truck never stops. And then some people are like, we'll just work out in the back, do different things, exercises, and it's just, I just find it somewhat impossible to get in any type of even a 15-minute routine while the truck is moving, because a lot of times I'm just hanging on back there or trying to not fall off the bed, or I'm grabbing the net in the refrigerator and just trying to stay on the bed while it's not David's fault so much, it's just the roads are bumpy and
we drive a freight shaker.
Rough. Freight shaker.
Yeah, and I always am reminded, and it's so true, that your health is 70% what you eat and 30% your exercise. And certainly exercise is important, and we're not doing enough of that either.
And I've already seen a difference, not just in our weight. We obviously gained weight over the past 10 months, but I can hear it in David's breathing, like when he's out and doing stuff around the truck and he gets back in, I could just hear he's a little more short of breath than I think he should be. So I'm noticing it more with you. With me, I'm like, oh, like my sweatpants are getting tight, like my.
Yeah, and I just noticed we both gotten a little bigger, and and she's right though with me. My certainly am not as healthy as I was more than a year ago when I started this thing. Even in my other job, though it was a desk job, I did projects at home. I was up moving around. I got my steps every day.
We did those 10,000 steps all the time. Like we could keep track of that just for fun. We did that with people at work too.
Yes, we walked at work.
They would take the long way all the time, and we'd use the stairs. And I'd park far away when we go shopping, so we have that extra walk up. Mm-hmm. And now our feet barely touch the ground.
It's true. We're sitting most of the time. If you're not driving, you're sitting in the back.
You're sitting or you're laying down.
The most exercises you get is up and down, in and out of the truck to, move the tandems or open the doors or check in at shippers and receivers, but that's about it. So, although yesterday, these past couple days, we got tons of more exercise than usual because we had so many things to do and we weren't necessarily parked close to the terminal. So I think yesterday we made about 4 or 5 trips.
Showers,
in the freezing cold weather.
Coffee.
Oh, it was miserably biting cold.
Complaining about the walk back and forth. And I was like, we need it.
We did. So it was just some things that we got done. The biggest thing that we wanted to accomplish was I had talked with Rachel, the prime dietitian, and also Colby. I think Colby is his name, the new guy that runs the driver fitness program. And we were able to stick our head into his office and sit down and talk with him, and didn't have an appointment. We didn't have an assessment yet. That's coming. But the big news is Brooke and I are going to jump off, and we're going to participate in the Driver Challenge fitness program. And we're going to do regular updates on our channel for a couple things. One, we'd like for you guys to see the progress that we make. But selfishly, I think it's going to be a lot more accountability for us, because it's one thing for Brooke and I to say we're going to do this, and if it's just she and I, we can just not do it. It wouldn't be the end of the world. But if we roll it on out there and tell all of you that we're going to embark on this challenge, we're asking you to hold us accountable. So when you don't see the progress, don't say that. That would be mean. But if you don't see any videos or updates from us, ask, because we're gonna take it seriously, and we're both gonna set some goals, and we don't know what those goals are yet. I would like to lose about 20 pounds. I think Brooke's thing, she always says, is it's not so much what the scale says, it's more how she feels, right?
For me, it's just more how I feel.
Yeah. So. She's teeny tiny anyway, and though she's put some pounds on and would not want to say how many pounds those are, it would, if we told you, you would just roll your eyes. she's pretty light. So yeah, we did that. Then another issue that we had hanging over our heads were we had her DOT physical done in Florida January 5th when we were on home time. And since then, we have been struggling to get the 4-page report sent over from CVS, where we had it done in Florida, to Prime. CVS says they faxed it. Prime HR, they say that they haven't gotten it.
It's
So
not HR, it's
personnel, whoever the people that track the physicals, there are some ladies that do that
specifically. They're not getting the faxes.
So it's tough because you've got this group saying we sent it, and we're on the phone and they're saying page 1, page 2, page 3, page 4 sent, and then Prime says, oh, we didn't get it. And the most recent thing is they got the 3 pages, but they didn't get the last one. So
My deadline's next week.
Yeah, it's February 4th or something.
So we still need to check in this last time and see, because of course we showed up at the office while we were there at Prime to go do this in person, and she wasn't there. She took the day off because of the weather. So.
Good for them, but a lot of the people get to work from home. I would too if they let me, but it's really kind of frustrating for drivers when you make a special trip to talk to someone face to face to try to solve a problem. And guess what? They're not there. They aren't there. So
we're still trying to do it, get it done by phone.
Yes. And so where we are now is the last time they got 3 pages, but they didn't get the 4th one. I have it now in my phone, so I loaded it up to the Prime app this time. Took pictures of it, loaded up, and they should have everything. So
give yourself some time when it comes to your physical and get your paperwork in.
It's very serious. It's important because if you don't have it, you can't drive. So we have to make sure that's put to bed by certainly before February 4th. It was time for laundry. We got laundry done. And it was a big weekend because it was a playoff weekend, and Kansas City made the playoff. So for people in that part of the country, that was a pretty big deal. They are not the Pittsburgh Steelers, but, I guess all teams have to have fans. So the Chiefs are in the playoffs, and they're playing, I guess, the Eagles. They're at the Chiefs and the Eagles in the Super Bowl. So it was very crowded on Saturday night. We were going to do our laundry on Saturday, and it was just crazy up there. So we ended up having to wait and do that. Brooke did that on Sunday. Got the truck washed. Went and unhooked from our trailer, hooked up to an empty.
No, we forgot to do was get a copy of our paperwork that when I went in, it's expired for my cab.
Your cab card?
Paperwork, my permit thing.
Yeah, we did not go by permitting.
We were supposed to go do.
Well, there's a couple things. We were going to do that. Yeah, the cab card is called, I think.
Cab card?
Yeah. It has your registration and stuff on it.
Registration.
But the other thing was, we're supposed to turn in the pre-pass. The pre-pass is not going to be used anymore. It's going to be tracked through DriveWise or something, the Qualcomm. But here's the thing, they hadn't turned that on yet. It doesn't start until February 1st, and we still had 2 more days that we were going to be on the road and driving through, way stations, and so we didn't want to be called in and miss that. So we ended up not turning in our pre-pass. We kept it, and we have all the way till April, so we'll turn that in on our next trip through, and we'll have to get our cab card too. That was something else we did not get. So back to the driver fitness program. We met with the new guy there, and he was very nice and explained the program to us, and we're gonna chronicle that journey with him, and hopefully also with Rachel, the dietitian. We're gonna get with her, and not only are we gonna get some of the recipes that Prime provides, but we're gonna make those recipes, and Brooke's gonna make those on the truck. We're gonna do some videos with that, so we can show you.
You can make some too.
Yeah, I can do it too. She says that now. She doesn't want me back there messing with her stuff. She's all like, "Don't touch my stuff." So Brooke will be making the recipes. I will be eating the food that she makes, and the intent is to test it out for ourselves, because so many times we think that stuff that is healthy isn't necessarily tasty, but I want to see for myself, and I hope that it is, because all things considered, why would you not eat healthy food if it was good or almost as good as the comfort foods, right? I love mashed potatoes and gravy, but guess what? I have learned that mashed and boiled cauliflower is good too. It's not quite mashed potatoes, but it's much healthier and it tastes good. Especially
that was very convincing.
Especially if you mess it up by putting lots of butter and salt and sour cream in there.
I have duped the whole family before and made mashed cauliflower, and everybody thought it was mashed potatoes, and I just went along with it.
But it's more expensive too. Cauliflower's more expensive than potatoes.
It is these days.
Yeah, it is. But what price your health? That's what you have to say. So, talking about food, we also had we had a friend in Florida that had given us an elk roast, and we've been carrying it around in our freezer for a couple months. And finally, Brooke took it out
cook it.
yesterday. We're defrosting it. Is it still a little frozen?
It's sitting out there getting room temperature. I'm about to put it in the crock pot, the Instant Pot, but I'm going to use it as a crock pot tonight because I have time to let it sit.
Oh my gosh.
I don't need it till tomorrow, so
It's going to be so good. And so what we'll do is, we're not going to do a video about making it, but we'll give you a report on what it's like when we tried it.
Dave would be the food critic.
Yeah.
I'm sure it'll be good.
And
I've been wanting to go elk hunting, and I was talking to my friend about it, and he just came out of his shed with a big roast for me, an elk roast. So I was real excited about it.
Yeah, I'd like to hunt elk too, but I understand it's very expensive. But maybe one day we'll get to do that. I'm not sure.
All that money you won't let me spend.
Well, that's a good thing. One day you'll spend it, right? Not right now. That's why we're out here putting it away. But another big thing that we accomplished, halfway accomplished, we are coming up on the time where we need to order our truck. And, we've about decided to go lease purchase for sure. Brooke goes back and forth. But, if we ever want to move forward with our tentative plans of starting a small fleet, of course, you have to own your first truck before you can buy a second truck. You can't just be lease and have a small fleet. So, with us being a little older, we only have so many more years that we can drive. So it sure would be nice that if in 3 or 4 or 5 years we could get off the road and we could have a few trucks that we manage from home with drivers that we have in them. So we're thinking about that, and we're looking at trucks, and we're not sure what truck we're going to get. We have pros and cons to both trucks. I think all things considered, the safer bet, the workhorse, the best choice for reliability and making money is the Freightliner. But it's not very cool. It's not very romantic. Everybody wants to talk about it. Yeah, because, everybody talks about how nice the Pete's are, and, a few people drive the Kenworths or the Volvos, and, those aren't available right now. So the only ones we could really buy would be the Freightliner or the Peterbilt. And we're leaning toward the Peterbilt. The primary reason is because of the ride. We really think that we'd rest a lot better, and we see people driving down the road, couples with a woman, the truck's moving and the woman's making a meal in the back. And while that's not the safest thing in the world, we're not saying we would do that. It's amazing that the difference in the ride between them.
That's on a Volvo, though. I've seen some.
I know some people that have a Pete that do that. They have a channel. So both of them are supposed to be pretty smooth, and that's the main reason.
It's hard to make food on a moving Freightliner.
Right.
It's bottom line. But I like my fridge.
Yeah, that's the other drawback to the Kenworth, is that teeny tiny little college-sized box refrigerator. What do you put in there?
Kenworths.
We can't. Well, Kenworths aren't available.
You just said Kenworth.
There are people that have some Kenworths.
You won't even let me look at a Kenworth.
So, Kenworths are not available, which I have to tell her every day. Volvos are not available, which I have to tell her every day. Our only options right now are Freightliner and Peterbilt. That may change. We have to order our date to order is March 11th. I found out when we were in there that our lease ends on September 11th. Man, is that a bad date for your lease to end? I don't know.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. Thank you. Yeah, it is what it is.
I was hoping to go to the truck show in, where is it, Louisville?
It's the Mid-America truck show, the biggest truck show in America.
I was hoping to get to go to the truck show and look at some trucks to kind of help make some decisions, because I've never really been in another truck other than an International. I've hopped into Eric's truck, his Peterbilt, for a minute, but
you didn't really know what you were looking at then.
It was very intimidating because it was when you were still in training.
Yeah.
And all I thought was, this truck's really big.
Not quite as big now that you live in it, are they?
No, well, this one's not.
Yeah, the Pete isn't much bigger, but they say it is a little nicer, it's, you know, the dash is a little nicer and this and that.
I'm more about, obviously, a good engine, and then the living space as far as, like, where can I keep things and how can I live in that space that's conducive? Can I cook in there? Can I sleep comfortably? And can everything be put away so it doesn't come crashing down?
And I am more about which truck's going to stay running on the road. It's going to be the most reliable and it's going to make us the most money. That's what I'm about. But I have to recognize that I have to also consider what's important to my bride. And if it's important for her to have a smooth ride, that's why I'm leaning toward getting
What kind of engines do the Peterbilts have?
I don't know about engines. You know that. I heard that they're changing and getting the Cummins engines, going away from one and getting I may be completely wrong. I thought somebody told me that in the 2024 models or 2023. I don't know, but that means nothing to me. It's all Greek to me. Is it run? Then that's what we need, right? Right.
So that's March 11th.
March 11th, we will be ordering, and we will share with you what we decide and tell you the options we're getting. And you know, it's really cool on the app. You can kind of take a picture of your truck after you build it, the color and everything. It'll show you what it looks like.
He keeps asking, what color do you want? What color do you want?
She's crazy. She goes, color is the least important thing, but I know better than that. She's going to get the exact color.
That's the last thing on my list.
Yeah.
I told her I want sparkly Barbie pink.
Well, you're not getting sparkly. I love you, but you're not getting sparkly Barbie pink. Sorry.
I think you look cute in
I think that I would look ridiculous in it, and you would look cute in it.
What's next?
All right. So the other thing that we had hoped to accomplish was, well, that was actually no for you. That was the last thing on the list, I think. So a very, very busy 2 days.
You're on the wrong side.
Is there anything else that we talked about? I'm sorry.
We don't usually go by a list, but we were thinking today of things that we wanted to talk about.
Basically, I wanted to let you know that we sometimes dread going into Springfield, but strangely enough, and it might sound hokey, but it does feel like home. When you're not at your home and you roll into that terminal, and even if you don't see people you know, you see people you recognize, and you see the regular staff that's there that works in the cafeteria.
And they're also stinking nice.
And they are very nice, and they're very accommodating, and I just...
and we're always, if we don't know anybody, we usually end up talking to somebody and making a new friend.
We talk to people, we try to be outgoing, we try to meet new people when we're there, and we always have people come up and talk to us, and we just love that. And then to run into people that you know too and spend time with them. It was a good 2 days, and I'm glad we were there. And of course, you're not rolling and you're not making money, but you're taking care of business so that you can get back out on the road and make some money.
And I like that you get your truck checked out. Mm-hmm. Because even though you're checking your truck all the time, it's nice to have those extra eyes.
Absolutely. And they're looking at things differently than we are. And like, for instance, they did some kind of special test on the reefer. They turned it off and hooked something up to it, some machine. So they were assessing that. That's not really ours. That's on the trailer.
But we're traveling with that trailer. Yeah. And so they're, if I get pulled over, which I seem to get pulled over a lot. If I get pulled over, I know that, my trailer has just been checked out and it's probably going to pass the inspection.
Yeah, that's one of the negatives to Brooke driving days, primarily me driving nights. She always gets pulled in. I hardly ever get pulled in. At night, most of the way stations are closed down, so I just zoom right on past them.
I'm getting used to it, though.
Yeah, you're getting good at it. You're getting comfortable with it. And quite honestly, I think she's going to do a lot better going into that way station than I would. So I'm glad that we've got that card to play. So we just got a pre-plan on our next load. It's one of those loads we can't talk about, but we're happy with it. And we're going to be headed back out west. Long trip. We're going...
hopefully weather will be good.
2,500 miles. Yeah, we have to look at that. But I don't think there's anything right now. If we need to, we'll drop. Yeah, we'll drop down south. Hey, if you didn't see my last video that I put up yesterday, Brooke and I produced a video with Sam Messick from the fuel desk on the Macro 27. And man, it is just chock full of great information.
It's really informative because I've seen him interview him once already, and this was our second time. And it really took this second time for things to kind of absorb.
And that was on me. Sam's a smart guy. That's his program. He understands it. But for me, it just took a while to understand all the different moving pieces and how it all plays together. But that Macro 27 is amazing. And what it provides for us as a team at Prime is tremendous. A tremendous benefit that we have, and we pay nothing for it. Most other companies don't have anything that compares to the optimizer, the trip optimizer. It's not just a fuel optimizer, it's a total trip optimizer.
Which I didn't realize. I thought it was just fuel.
Yep, it's going to show you the way to make the most money on that trip that you can. So
definitely check that video out. You're bound to get something out of it.
Check it out. So that's all we have for now. We just wanted to keep update you on where we've been for the last couple days and what's coming up. We will be going on home time third week in February. We've been out a good long time, and hopefully that'll be the last gasps of winter. We'll see. You know, I'm sure we can still have winter weather in March and even April, but we'll be at the end of winter, and that's a good thing. And looking forward to rolling into the summer and getting ready to get our new truck this fall.
And get some order new chicks.
Yeah, we're going to order some new chickens too. As you know, we have some egg layers at home, and they're still doing great. They're laying eggs, but you know, you need to order to replace your flock. You need to every year and a half order more chicks because it takes them about 6 months till they start laying. So, Darla, if you're watching, get ready. We're going to have to double our flock.
Time to eat the old and bring in the new.
Yeah, and get ready because we're going to put Bo in the pot, and we're going to have chicken stew out of him. No, just kidding.
Cry.
All right, folks, that's it. This is Captain Dave and Ms Brooke with Simple Plan Trucking. It's good to talk with you. It's good to see you. You be safe out on the road, and we'll catch up with you real soon. Bye now.
Bye, y'all.